I kind of saw that happening. Oh, hey everyone, this is Joe from ActionX. Welcome back to What's on the Tube. Today we are reviewing, well, I'm reviewing, The Rookie Season 2, Episode 3. Now, before I continue, if you do hear a little bit of an echo, I am using the mic, but just in case I haven't tested this out yet, my living room area is currently, which is usually the backdrop for majority of my videos, has gone for construction, so it's still very new walls, plus it's very open right now since there's no furniture here. Like, literally, I am sitting on a chair. I'm not even using my couch. My couch is over there, like, flipped over. You can see a piece of it. So that's why if it's a little bit different, the setup, it's going to be for that for another week because we still got to do painting. But enough of that. This isn't Joe's remodeling life. This is What's on the Tube, where each and every episode we review something. Well, I review something. And I am reviewing again The Rookie Season 2, Episode 3. Like I said last week, is that I'm still constantly surprised on the directions that the show and this season is taking, specifically as this season is a bit different. Obviously, of course, it's Season 2, no duh, but also it had to deal with some major casting changes and loss in the cast and stuff like that. And the last 2 weeks I really enjoyed because the premiere just did a great job of like being both a continuation slash beginning towards many things. And then last week's episode was definitely a great episode with Harold Perlmutter's character. I think I pronounced that right. I apologize. But this week honestly was a bit of a downgrade, just a little bit. Not that much because well, let's be completely honest. In a TV season, you can't go through an entire season expecting the last episode to be better than the other. You're bound to take the hit. But I still really enjoyed this episode. This episode really, what was I gonna say? It definitely played a little bit of the notion of like I still love all the plots, but it definitely I feel like at the end of the day, so far this season, Officer Chen, I think her character is in a very interesting spot right now where I believe we're on the cusp of figuring out what her character direction is going to be for the remaining of the season. But so far she's like only been there for comedic relief, which is obviously because like Nolan is dealing with all the dramatic stuff. Wes is currently dealing through figuring out who he is going to be in the future in terms of like what type of officer he's going to be and learning some new interesting directions of being a cop. And Chen has kind of like just been the comedic relief. Now, last week I made a comment about how I anticipate, I kind of loathe and fear that she and Bradford might hook up. But this episode definitely said probably not. I mean, there's still a couple of hints that indicate that something can happen, but I'll get to that in a second. But before I continue, I'm going to spoil the episode for you, so please watch this episode of The Rookie before you proceed forward, even though I kind of minorly spoiled some stuff here. But anyway, so pretty much there are three plots, as everyone knows, as per usual with The Rookie. So we follow each of the training officer. Now, like I said, with Nolan's case, since we lost Bishop at the beginning of the... Well, technically, we lost Bishop in between seasons. But I made the notion of, like, how many more episodes can we get Nolan theoretically getting a new partner? We got him teaming up with Gray in the first episode. Last week was with Harold's character. And this week, instead of like getting us, okay, let's introduce another new person to this already expanding universe to pit Nolan in and teach him probably some valuable lessons. And this case, we did it. So, kind of like continuing from the last episode, and I kind of like was a little bit baffled on how like usually I know this isn't a procedural, but it kind of felt like a procedural on moments in the beginning of the show. Now it's just another story that for me to follow. It definitely continued a lot of the plots from the last episode where West had an issue with finding a new apartment since his last place was being closed down, and then he had this whole episode struggle of trying to find a place, and he almost moved into this trailer park for cops, as I like to call it, and he was about to move in with this one particular cop, and he decided to say, nope, screw this, I am leaving, and he eventually moved in with Chen. So that officer is back into play, and while it's not necessarily like, it was like mainly you left me, I'm going to screw you over type of thing, it was more like no, this cop's just lazy and very different from the rest of the bunch type of thing. So he teamed up with West this week, and Nolan got to team up with Lopez this week, and it was a very interesting pairing considering the fact both of them were going in very different, like, crucial spots in their individual relationships. So I found that pairing to be very nice in terms of, it being like it served the purpose. It wasn't just like, let's just get these two together just for the sake of it. Also, the opening where they were dealing with the bee thing was very funny. It was a very funny bit. I wonder if they ever found the beekeeper. I really hope if they're playing with the whole like this is really continuity thing. I really hope he comes back, just like not for like a major episode. I meant like just for shits and giggles. Anyway, so as we proceed forward with the, let's get. I'm gonna get the lower subplot out of the way because like it's more like it was more like for laughs. So Chen and Bradford's issue of the week was that was interesting enough because like initially when this was being brought up, I thought this was gonna segue into maybe Chen is trying to open herself up into trying to have a relationship with Bradford. I don't see the connection here. I still don't, even after this episode. But mainly, it's been a while since Bradford officially divorced from his wife in the middle of last season. So I think Chen's trying to push him to like get back on the dating scene. And he is obviously, being Bradford, doesn't want to do that. And even for me, I would totally respect that, even if I didn't know his personality. I mean, if you don't want to go out with someone, you don't. But they make a bet, as per usual, that if she can set him up on a pretty good date that ends well, she gets her short sleeves. And if she loses, she has to do 50 push-ups. Then again, doing 50 push-ups, not a bad thing. Well, then again, doing 50 push-ups after every single call, and there could be dozens of calls in a day. Anyway, what are you going to do? They agree to the deal, and conveniently enough, she reunites with a college friend of hers, and she decides to set her up with Bradford, and then the date doesn't go well, supposedly. And spoilers, it does end with the college friend and Bradford banging. Having a one-night stand, or I don't know. Could it lead to anything? I don't know. It's only been... This just premiered literally like 16 minutes ago, so I don't know. But I did find it was a bit vindicating. But there was a moment where like I think they were kind of faking... trying to like... let's let Chen lose so that she can be punished, but we could still do it. And I don't think they were counting on Chen coming over to her house later. But there was only a moment in between, which I think was the shining moment of this episode, which could... This is why I was saying this could easily lead into like the character direction we're going to see Chen go into the rest of the season 2 if they decide to pursue this. She did say that she was more interested in helping others, and she doesn't know why. Now that is a very interesting thing because like I could speak from personal experience that you always try to help other people, but you always ignore yourself. Chen has been in a very interesting area because she is, of course, obviously trying to become her own thing, become her own person from her parents, and be a cop, and be as successful as she can be, and prove something of herself. But I understand that character message, but since the first half of season 1 for her character was more like she's in this secret relationship with Nolan, and then the second half she has to now reaffirm like she's her own independent person. So... And I get that does take time, but it's like what in a TV show you got to see a little bit of progress, you got to see a little bit of movement. What's the next step in that character development, in that character journey? And her playing to the notion that why am I focusing on these other? Why am I focusing? Like, no offense, these people are important in her life, but why isn't she focusing on herself more than ever? And I feel like that's going to play hopefully it's going to play an interesting direction in the future. I still don't find I personally do not find the idea of her and Bradford ever hooking up. I could be reading too much into this. I could be. I usually do. I could be wrong. But then again, there's still like a ton of more episodes in season 2, so could be wrong. And again, like I said before, the writers know what they're doing by this point. I trust them. So if this was to happen, I'm pretty sure it will happen in a very natural, logical way. But I'm just hoping for it's just like these two are just like they're getting to the close where like they could be potentially dysfunctional brothers and sisters. I don't really know. We will have to see as we proceed. Going into great, I already forgot. West. So West's thing, as I said before, he had to team up with the cop that he was supposed to move them last episode. And the whole theme of the episode. I apologize for a second if I'm reading in a little bit more than usual. I had to wake up my computer. there was a theme that there was problem spots, so the cops have to necessarily go to these spots where usually there's a lot of crime there and sort of just do a normal patrol for the day. And he gets teamed up with this guy who is obviously a very different TO or / mentor to his usual with Lopez. And I'm getting all the smaller ones out of the way because the bigger ones where it has the most meat. And basically they ended up trying to pat down these perps. One of them got away. He had a gun, apparently. He dropped it during the middle of the chase sequence. What honestly was a really well done chase sequence. I honestly thought for a moment, I was like, okay, they're going to cut here to commercial. Then we're going to see him pop up again. No, Wes actually did something smart. He hid, hoping the guy would slip up, and he did, and that kind of continued the chase scene a little bit more. When he gets caught, the perp, it was realized he has bullets, but he doesn't have a gun. He goes back, and this was something from the promo for last week, where it was like, okay, I was expecting, like, the kid was going to nearly miss the mom, because I don't know why the kids, what the hell was wrong with this kid? Like, couldn't he listen? Like, there were 2 adults telling him, drop the gun. Now, I understand kids don't pay attention that much, but still. So I honestly thought that the kid was going to barely miss, and, that would be fine. But no, this is where it actually does take a serious turn, and it does showcase another surprise in the rookie. The mom gets shot, and obviously Wes is full with anger because like he obviously no doubtably expects the guy who dropped this gun to be responsible for it, but of course obviously he plays a douchebag saying, I don't know, not my gun, that usual bullshit. And then eventually it's sad to say that the mom dies, and it honestly, like, the rookie is doing a lot of good things with the show because, like, it's showcasing, like, obviously this is a TV show. It's goofy. It's fun. We're having these great character dynamics and moments and banter. But then it also realizes that not everything has a happy ending. And this reaffirms that yet again, where I was expecting, okay, the mom gets shot, but she's going to be fine in surgery. And maybe we'll have a brief, maybe touching moment with the kid. No, the mom freaking dies. She dies on the operating table, and there's no mention of a father. So this kid is practically homeless. Now again, they didn't confirm. I didn't see if she had a ring or anything. I didn't see if there was a father at play. But this kid, at the end of the day, at least lost his mom because of him. It could be interesting, and like maybe in the future, if the rookie hypothetically goes for way more seasons, if they revisit that character and see the traumatic effect he has on him. And again, he's a kid. He was probably like maybe 4 years old, maybe 3, maybe even 5 at best. But man, that was I wasn't expecting, and I definitely like felt a little bit of justice when they did get him at the end of the episode, not because of that, but because of a different separate thing that fits the MO. But let's get back to Nolan things. So Nolan, obviously, last week he had to deal with like being reintroduced to his ex-girlfriend, now as a practicing doctor, and we return back to his girlfriend, and obviously the another major hurdle in their relationship, which honestly is a bit early, so to speak. I don't think they've been dating that long. I don't even think they hit the 2-month mark yet. I don't know. I don't pay attention to time in this world, not even my world currently. And it was definitely playing to the notion like obviously the longevity of things, and the older you get. Like, when you're younger, like, people say take your time if you're with someone. Try to learn as much as you can from them before you even consider getting married. But Nolan and this woman, I assume, are in their late 30s, and definitely Nolan's in his 40s. They're getting older. They don't have that specific time frame because, like, if they want to have a life together, they kind of have to jump on that sooner than later. And she definitely did, like, play it to the notion of, like, well, it could happen. Because, like, he was building his closet, and obviously, I kind of knew, like, subvertly, like, there was going to be some sort of, like, you should be adding extra space for me, and she I think it was a joke, that's what he thought, but then she played it off as a joke, but in reality, he was playing as that. But honestly, I would still have done his same reaction, because, like, if you're dating someone for only 2 months, you're doing this remodeling, and you're, like, she's, like, asking, like, for extra space, it's, like, you're moving a little bit too fast. Like, I understand this would be, if you do end up being together for the rest of your life, obviously it would make sense, but you don't know that. It's only been 2 months. So I definitely understand Nolan's case here for his reaction and definitely dealing with the after effects of that. As also, I don't know how I went this long for not mentioning. Apparently, this week on ABC was Blast from the Past week, where apparently actors from older ABC shows, when they have a connection with like a current existing actor, would come back and like play a guest star or something. So apparently there were 2 Castle guest stars. Nathan Fillion's last show on ABC before that got canceled. Those 2 came back for this episode. I'm gonna say this: I never watched Castle. I don't get the reference. Like, I'm pretty sure if I watched the show, this would have been a great moment tonight. Honestly, like the 2 characters, like obviously the first one was for comedic, was pretty funny, and then the second guy was more towards like the second half of the plot for Nolan's side of things. I get that. I'm sorry. It's like when like I knew I was gonna feel some sort of not a good amount of good resonance because like I never watched Castle. I would like to watch Castle someday. Like I don't know when, but it's like I don't know Castle. I don't know these actors, so I don't like. I know. I'm sorry. I can't watch everything. I can't. But cool. Shout out to ABC for getting those actors to come back, at least for an episode, like getting to reunite those actors again. If I do get to watch Castle, I'll definitely rewatch this episode again in the near future. But until then, it was still a cool thing they did. So there was this whole underground sting another agent was doing. He gets blown. Nolan and Lopez get involved in things, and he almost gets taken away after he in the hospital, and then it kind of resolves everything because, like, you know, Nolan apparently took down inadvertently a whole big operation, and with, you know, saving the guy's life. Definitely patch things up with him and his girlfriend. And once again, it does reinforce some wariness I do have, where it's like I do not like when people like. The thing is that I'll probably talk about this on my other show, PodXcast, in a later episode for another topic for another time. I just don't like it when people, when they're in a relationship, start thinking about another person. Now, again, it's weird to say. It's like it has to be a very specific circumstance because, like, well, maybe those 2 would be a better pairing. But it's like you're also like insulting your current partner for thinking that about another person. And I understand like these 2 were a couple. And definitely, like, when she revealed the doctor, the Dr. X, I'll call her that because I don't remember her name. She revealed that she's not married. She technically is married, but she's separated from her husband. So she was kind of hoping, I think, subvertly, that maybe Nolan would break up with his current girlfriend. Maybe somewhere down the line they can get back together. I really don't know. But the fact that I'm looking at Nolan's face in the past 2 episodes, like, there is definitely something there, and it sucks. It really does suck. And again, you never know. You never know how things are going to play out. Because it's still too early in the season to, like, go one way or another. We still need a few more episodes with the current girlfriend and Dr. X to see how things go. It can go either way. I'm down in the bank camp. I'm like, yes, focus on another girl while you're with someone else and then break up with them when the time's right. I am not that type of person. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. Obviously, if it works out, it works out. I don't know. We'll have to see. And lastly, Lopez's whole thing was that Iceman. I'm going to call him Iceman because I keep forgetting everyone's like, besides the main characters, I can't remember anyone else that's recurring beyond that. So I apologize. I'm just going to call the guy who played Iceman in the original X-Men movies is in this show. I'm just going to call him Iceman. So Lopez is dealing with another, like, her and her relationship where it's like where she wants to meet Iceman's father. Not father. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. It's like 11:30. I've been up since 7. She wants to meet his mom. She's like a little bit on edge, but it's not for the reasons you think. And apparently, the big reveal is that he's filthy rich. And the mother is like a little bit more like she wants him to do this, but he doesn't want to do it. So, and there's this whole issue. I get it. I understand that. And Lopez ends up bonding with the mother. They really hit it off, but now they're at an impasse where it's like, what is she gonna do with the realization that, you know, her boyfriend is technically rich? Definitely, hopefully it won't affect their relationship. I really don't, since they've already established themselves as a couple long before that revelation. Hopefully this will add a couple more hurdles. I really hope they are destined for each other. I really hope, but we'll see. Again, it's still way too early to tell. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I respect what ABC did with the whole blast from the past week with the returning cast members from older shows. Respect that. Kudos to them for doing that program or doing that special event. I give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really did enjoy it. And so far, Rookie Season 2 still going very strong. 3 episodes in. I can't wait. So yeah, that was it for this week of The Rookie. If you weren't aware, you were watching What's on the Tube. Hopefully you sat for this. Thank you if you have. If you aren't aware, so what's up next? So for all you Rookie fans, I'll be back next week with the next episode. Promo was a bit... Do I remember the promo? I'm so sorry. I don't even remember the promo I just watched half an hour ago. I really don't remember. That's right. We'll get to that. Hopefully next week will be supposedly the resolution to like who is Nolan's new TL going to be. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what happens. In terms of like overall on What's on the Tube, I will be back. If you watch the Nancy Drew review, I will be back doing the next episode of Nancy Drew this coming Thursday. If you just came from the My Hero Academia one, not going to continue that. That was a one-off. I'll be back for Overhaul. I'm still going to be adding shows whenever I feel like it. Not when I feel like it, but like when I. It's a very different circumstance. I still have to do a proper update on things, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to know like what's coming up overall on What's on the Tube, you can follow us on Twitter or listen to me at the end of these episodes where I will probably announce whatever is coming up. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you want to see more from What's on the Tube from ActionX, if you're unaware, and I like pimping out my other stuff. If you want to hear this as a longer form things, focusing on different topics, go watch the PodX cast. If you like gaming, if you like video games, and you want to see me and my friend George play for a bunch of games, you can either see our Zelda Let's Play or Couch Gamers, or whatever else you feel comfortable with on the channel. But please like and share this if you want. I'll be seeing all you Rookie fans again next week, and overall, I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.